Yeah.
I turned it off because I had to
Oh,
fix something. You know, XSplit's too stupid to let you adjust any settings of any real meaning while you're actually live.
well, it's still on, yeah. Was
All
it your just
right.
audio source?
Yeah, I changed the source. I know what happened now.
What
So
happened?
I switched out microphones because I was sick of wearing my headphones, and
Hmm.
and it switched my sound source, and I have to go back and switch that manually in XSplit. So
Oh, okay.
the mic was working for y'all, but XSplit had no idea which one I was actually using, and
Mhm.
I don't know if I'm
Oh.
really quiet or not. It looks like I should be good, and y'all should be good. Chat.
I don't know. You guys are going to have to tell me if they're talking to me in chat.
Yeah, we'll do. Hang on, wait.
If
Are
somebody
we?
said hi to me.
Yay, they can hear you now. Don't.
Can they hear y'all?
Can you hear you? Oh.
You alls.
Yay, Creepy says she can hear us all.
Is there anything else you
Yay!
guys would like from us? Maybe for us to do a little song and dance number, order you some Chinese takeout. I don't know. Cure cancer? You can tell I've been playing Saints Row because that's actually one of the first decisions you get in Saints Row is cure cancer or end world hunger.
Oh, well, what the fuck? How are you supposed to pick that?
Well, I picked the cancer one because he holds out the 2 sheets of paper and the one for cancer says "fuck cancer" on it. So
Oh, that's kind of cool. No more spoilers! No.
that's in the trailers. That's no spoiler.
I did not see that in any trailer that I've seen.
Well, I watch a lot of trailers. Do we bother talking about StarCraft a third time, or do we just move on?
Let's just start the whole
now
thing
that they can
again.
All right.
yeah, now that they can actually hear you, you
Yeah.
might as well. You can go back and delete that part that was all weird.
Yeah, you know, actually, I'm going to have to do some cutting when I move this over to the YouTube channel.
Yep,
So,
you will do.
all right, folks. Welcome to the Dimecast. I'm Dimebots. Below me is my pink bunny.
Hello.
And then over there to the right, left, Ranger's somewhere. She's probably flipped on the stream. It's Ranger.
Yeah, I'm backwards. I'm backwards and upside down.
You cannot be
No,
upside down.
no, I'm fine. It's fine.
You-
It's fine.
Don't.
You are not a Minecraft animal, and I did not attach a name tag that says dinner bone to you. You cannot be upside down.
Yeah.
Is that really? Is that what that does?
That's
Yes,
exactly
it
what
flips
that
over.
does.
There's another one as well, but I can't remember what it was.
Grum. G-U-R-M-M.
Yeah, Grum. That flips
It's-
upside down too.
I do notice that Ranger has a little friend in the background there, though.
Hee hee hee. So do I. Look up there.
This is Bernard.
It's what? What's its name?
Bernard.
Bernard. And Bunny has her creepy on the wall thingy, and I just realized I don't have my hat.
My creeper is totally more creepy than your thing, Jeff.
My hat is super creepy.
Nice.
All right, Mike was supposed to be with us. Mike's asleep because Mike didn't sleep for 14 hours. So.
Mike was playing Animal Crossing for 14 hours.
That's terrifying.
So, among the list of things that we had to talk about today is the StarCraft 2 MMO, which is on Kickstarter. You can find it on there. I find it interesting because I play StarCraft, Ranger plays StarCraft. Bunny, are you an avid StarCraft watcher? I don't know what to call you. You're a StarCraft observer.
Yep.
Haha, that's a unit in StarCraft. You see what I did there? Anyways,
She's in the bleachers like, yay!
they're cheering like, Dime, he's our man. If he can't do it, we're screwed. But
Oh, I was gonna go. If he can't do it, Mike sure can.
oh, that's just.
Oh.
Anyways,
Sorry.
I find the whole StarCraft MMO thing interesting because StarCraft is an RTS game and it's got a lot of lore. Obviously, Blizzard can do MMOs because of, well, World of Warcraft. Bunny, your 2 cents?
Yep. It's a fan-made game and it's supported by Blizzard, which is supported by the game developer. I don't mind.
Yeah, Blizzard's
support it
featuring
then.
in the arcade.
Yeah, they are. So it's better. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At least it gets out there.
At least it's not going to be like Chrono Trigger, where it got mostly made and then the sequel got mostly made and sued out of existence. But what you can see behind this, guys, is that it really basically is a bunch of map mods. I mean, it's pulled in super close, but honestly, I don't expect them to write a new engine for it. But it's an interesting concept to me.
Yeah, it's
Ranger?
very interesting.
I wonder how exactly they're gonna implement the MMO. If it's just a bunch of maps, then like how is like everybody in the world supposed to be clumped on one map? I see that being an issue.
Yeah. Well, the thing that really kind of I wonder about is what are they going to do to my... Because by its definition, you know, an MMO is going to need to have leveling and skill trees and progression and MMO-y stuff, basically. Is that a word, MMO-y?
And like guilds?
Yes, and guilds. Yeah, so... and this other thing, played through Battle.net on StarCraft 2, no StarCraft purchase required. It says right on the front of it. So, there's some other weird stuff
really separate. I mean, I can see it kind of working that you would have like a guild of people, and you would have like dedicated builders, and then those would be the people that are really good at building and good at moving everybody and that kind of thing. And then you would have the people that are good at battle strategy, and those people would go in and battle the other people. So like I see that working and gelling and being cool, but I don't know how they're going to deal with so many people on like a tiny custom map somebody made unless they make it really, really big.
Yeah.
With tons of resources.
I think they'll be able to do some of that stuff. The thing that's interesting to me is, I noticed this the other day. It originally started life as World of StarCraft, so I think we see where they're taking some obvious inspiration from. But it's going to focus on epic storytelling, which most MMOs that I've ever even casually watched, I wasn't really impressed by the storytelling. I think Guild Wars 2 kind of had some good storytelling going on, but it's an
if I had a little banner that said Guild Wars 2 on it. If I had a little banner that said Guild Wars 2 on it, I'd be holding it up. I like Guild Wars 2 so much.
But and the stretch goals to me are kind of, I don't know how I feel about the stretch goals. $80,000, which is where they're at, is an open beta release, an Act 1 released. $100,000 is a Zerg character class. $135,000 is a MOBA-inspired PvP zone with a heavy focus on vehicle combat? Understand me, I mean, I know there's tanks and such in StarCraft, but that's a clicky move thing. As far as I know, StarCraft doesn't really have an interface built in for driving.
Yeah.
So...
That would be really fun, though. Maybe that's how they'll do it. Like, you have to play as your character rather than be making characters and that kind of thing. Instead of, like, sending Overwatch, you'd be first person or third person.
Yeah, well, what they say is they are going to do it third-person view and have challenges, missions, raids, and the focus is going to be on you having a team of players and friends, and everybody's going to customize their own hero character, which they use in battle. That's kind of been done to an extent in Warcraft 3, if either of y'all played that, because you had hero units that were super powerful and could gain levels and be given skills, and Bunny's going, hell no, what are you talking about, Dime?
Both me and Bunny are like...
My point is that kind of concept has been done in a Blizzard game before, but it was done in a very different manner. So I don't know. I think it could be really interesting. I'm just not really sure, because right now you've got Marine, Ghost, Medic, and Firebat for Terrans. Okay, that's all good. Zealot, Dark Templar, High Templar, and Preserver. Yeah, and the Zerg, I mean, Protoss and humans can at least talk. It's not like Zerg are going to be like giving you quests like, you must go track down that dirty Jim Raynor and bring me back 10 of his fingernails. You know, it's going to be more like just growling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't talk.
Yeah, basically it's gonna fall down to execution.
Yeah.
Like how exactly they plan to do it, and then how they want to have it done, working with how people want to play StarCraft. Because people who play StarCraft love StarCraft, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
a little bit too much sometimes.
Yeah.
Cut off, Mike.
Yeah. But basically they're gonna have to execute it. It's gonna still have to feel like StarCraft, which is gonna be hard for like a third-person MMO.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm probably gonna shelve that one for now because I do want to talk about this with Mike the next time we do this, which means I don't want to beat it into the ground.
Yeah.
So the next one I think is one that we can definitely all get behind, and that is Paper Dude VR. So let me get Paper Dude in real quick. Did you have a chance to watch this thing, Ranger?
I saw it, And then when I saw your Oculus thing, I was like, oh, what about this Oculus thing?
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and play Paper Dude in the background, but for those that are just curious, Paper Dude is this
Hi, I'm Ben Unsworth. We're Global Core. We're an interactive
Bonkers. Whoa, and it's not wanting to stream too well. Thank you. Thank you, ISP.
Today, I want to show you a little project.
Paper Dude is this bonkers thing they're doing with the Oculus Rift, where they've taken a Kinect, a spike that they've made stationary, and an Oculus Rift, and they've recreated Paperboy. You'll see when it decides to cooperate for me that the guy is literally going to be riding on a bike with an Oculus Rift headset on, and he's going to be throwing papers. And I already think the Oculus Rift is just really cool technology, but this is just... How cool is this?
It's very colourful.
It's cool, and if you go back and actually watch the Oculus Rift Kickstarter, because you can, because he kickstarted the Oculus itself, like, the guy has been, like, mystified by VR his whole life, and he's like, I really want to find a way to make this affordable. I want somebody to be able to go home and, like, use VR and not have to spend, like, go out and do it or have to spend thousands of dollars or some stupid craziness. And I think it's a really good thing that he's doing, and starting, because if you look at the Rift, it's only like $300.
Yeah.
Like, that's not bad for like a full VR equipment, you know?
Yeah.
And especially with the quality that it has.
Yeah, and I've seen some comments, I've looked at this in a few places, because, you know, this is getting linked everywhere. People ripping on the style of graphics in this. I'm like, it's a proof of concept. Calm down. Plus, it looks like what I imagine Paperboy would look like in that kind of view. But just the fact that it leaving aside the fact that maybe they had to cut stuff together, you know, to make it look how they want to, it's obviously working.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, also obviously, I've seen worse looking indie games also. So
Minecraft comes to mind right off the bat. No offense, because I love Minecraft, but let's be honest, vanilla Minecraft is not exactly the prettiest game in the world.
No, you can make it pretty, but the default.
Sometimes I mess around in default just because I like it. Oh shit! Sorry, sorry. You'll have to beat me.
You just kicked the camera.
You're fine. And
I was.
Don't worry about the cursing. Trust me. When we get to one of the later topics, it's going to be all y'all can do to get a coherent sentence out of me. Like, I can already feel my rage building. So,
Which one is that?
Probably I think I know what he's talking about.
Yeah, there's two though.
But I think probably the one.
To kind of tease the viewers, the Google Doc topic sheet for this, we added notes to it for each person. My notes for this particular topic we're going to get to just say dime rage.
Yeah, so I know which one it is, because I was just looking at it yesterday.
Yeah. But I think, and I'm fascinated by the Oculus Rift. In fact, we have another couple Oculus Rift things that we're going to cover right here, but this is what caught my eye, because what I've seen of the Oculus Rift to date, and God bless id Software, you know, but they've really jumped behind it. But I don't want a rehashing of Doom for the Oculus Rift. Doom 4, Doom 3, Doom, whichever one. Is it Doom 4? Doom 3? It's a good game, but it's old, and I wasn't that big a fan of it anyways. The Oculus Rift isn't really going to make it any different.
So that's our Paper Dude.
But this has gotten me excited, because this is, and I hate the Kinect. We'll talk about the Kinect in a minute, but I hate the Kinect. I just hate it. And this is like the first cool use for the Kinect I've seen.
Stay tuned for updates.
Yeah, the Kinect is creepy. We can talk about the Kinect when it's time to get to the Kinect. But I don't have one. My friend has one. I'm thinking about getting the Xbox One, but we can talk about all that later. If you want to go back to Rift stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Before we move on.
And I'm actually getting ready to pull that one up right now. Ranger brought this one to my attention, and I watched it not too long ago, and I do just love the opening right there. It says, try to resist throwing money at the screen from Engadget. And I think that's pretty accurate, because Ranger, this is your baby. Why don't you go ahead and intro and tell us about this?
Okay, so this thing, I mean, the guy talks about it. If you go to the Kickstarter, you'll find it. It's called the Omni for the Oculus Rift. And basically, you get special shoes, which I like because I'm a shoe girl. But you get special shoes. And basically, it puts you in the virtual reality world in a place that's safe so that you can actually move around. So, like, you can have VR and you can put on the helmet and it feels so real, but you're still sitting at a computer screen or you're standing in front of an Xbox, you know what I mean? So it's like, yeah, cool, I'm in this place, but you're just sitting somewhere still. And what the Omni seems to do is it lets you actually walk around in that place. And the fun thing about it is that they spent, I guess their big thing is they spent 2 years in research to make it work and all this kinds of stuff. It seems really ergonomic, which is nice, but it already works with games. So you don't have to buy special games.
On the video right now, I know you guys probably can't see it, right now they were just doing Battlefield 3, which that blows my mind, because a lot of the software we see for the Rift has been custom built just for it. Now these dudes are doing it in Battlefield.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they'll play. You'll see all kinds of things on the video. It's Battlefield. There's Minecraft later. There's TF2. All these kinds of things, you know, like, and it puts you in that world, and you're safe because there's like a harness and it's adjustable, so it could be your right height. And there's Skyrim. I just saw Skyrim go by, but it's later for me. You can like walk around in Skyrim. I'm just saying. Just. Sorry, go ahead.
Which is super, super cool. That, you know, the one thing that I do worry about was, that's DayZ right there, isn't it? Well, if it's not, it needs to be. Anyways, one thing that worries me about Skyrim is, you know, now there's a whole new level of took an arrow to the knee jokes coming.
Yeah, there totally is. And I'm sure some kid is going to know that joke and walk up to somebody playing that game and hit him in the knee and be like, ah! And run away. Because he's a jerk.
The thing that gets me, and I'm watching it right now, is this little station that they have, this little thing that you stand in, I guess the Omni station, but it is so cool that they have that you could just stand in it and you can run and whatever, and they just showed it. You could fold it up and put it away.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just like and I'm sure that's how they're going to kind of market it. Like, it's cool for gamers who are nerds because you can walk around in Skyrim, but they're going to market it as an exercise equipment, you know? Like, when you're running around in Skyrim, it keeps track of your, and later in the video it says this, but it keeps track of your calories burned and your distance run. So, like, they can totally market it for that too. Be like, oh, be healthier, play the games you like. You can run around in your own VR world, you know.
Coming soon, We Fit You Omni. I can see it now. Yeah. Nintendo's going to sell that bloody heartbeat monitor with it.
Gosh.
But
and then Nike's going to get in on it and get the little step counter. Yep.
And it's going to link to your iPod, because I have friends that do that and it drives me bonkers. Like, I see their tweets and they're like, is that Minecraft? I didn't notice it before. That was freaking Minecraft.
Yeah, Minecraft, it already works. Like, anything that, it already works for so many games that, because they write the programming. If you listen to the video, they write the programming to mimic keystrokes. So basically, all the programming is already there because they developed it to work with your games. And it's just going to take like this whole connect and it can see you back kind of thing totally to a different place, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's...
And see, it's showing all the fitness stuff now. Imagine taking a jog in Skyrim every morning. I would jog the out of Skyrim, okay?
I do not blame you. I was thinking about this. What other games would you guys really like to see them do this in? I've got one biggie for me. I would love to run around in Hyrule.
Wow. Oh, that would be nice.
And also a Mega Man game.
Oh, yeah. Definitely. You can jump. Like, the thing is, you have to, like, learn how to walk again, which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
And then they market also, like, virtual tourism and all those kinds of stuff. This is for people that aren't really excited about the game part of it, you know?
Yeah.
The thing about it is it's already available for pre-order. It's like $500 for pre-order. But you have to buy the Oculus separately. And, like, the gun for the game you have to buy separately. And you have to have a Kinect. But if you buy an Xbox One, you'll already have a Kinect. So then it's not really that much extra, you know? But I would almost wait, because I'm sure that the Oculus Rift people and the Omni people are actually going to get together. And they're going to make it into a package deal. And you might be able to save money on both.
I wouldn't be surprised. It would be an incredibly smart business move out of them, because if you're interested in the Oculus, this is just icing on the cake, honestly.
I know, but do you want to put down $800 originally? And that's got to be a business thing that happens in your head. Granted, these guys are like the VR people, and they're excited about games and all those kinds of things. They finally got it working, so like these are the kind of guys that I would want to make the business decision versus some like hotshot, slick back hair, business dude coming in and being like, oh, we can totally package these things. Oh, we'll charge them more for both of them, Yeah. I would rather it be like the developers that are like, oh, but we can package this and then it'll cost them less and then they'll want to buy it more, because that's the whole thing for the Oculus Rift guy, is that he wanted to bring VR to your house. And it seems like the Omni can be really cheap because there's no moving parts.
Yeah.
There's the program, but there's no motors, nothing like that. It's you on this little thing that they designed, and all of it's just in the program that they wrote.
I know, that's the thing that really, because when I first saw it, I was like, is that a mini treadmill? What is that thing? And I started watching it, I was like, oh, that's super cool, because imagine if it did have moving parts. Oh, God. Cost
it would be thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
And that's what I was expecting when I first saw it, and then I went to go look at the pre-order. I was like, oh my God, it's something like $500. Yeah. So it's like, they don't want it. They want people to be able to buy this thing, and they want people to be able to have it in their house. And that's what's really cool about these developers, like for the Rift and for the Omni, is they want you to be able to play it, and they want you to be able to be in that VR world that you want to be in, Yeah. Because I'm sure that's something like when you play Skyrim, you're sitting in front of the thing and you feel totally absorbed in the game. Imagine if it was on your eyes and you could move like in the game, like how much more absorbed. I see myself needing to set alarms.
I would
for like alarms, dinner.
I would never see Shelby again. I'm going to be honest. She
just get her to program a game of herself in the Rift. You'd be fine.
I mean, she's literally got, I don't know how many hours into Skyrim. It really is, but it's ridiculous. So yeah. But I think this is going to be really cool. There's one other thing that we had on the Oculus Rift, and this one is this is Bunny's fucked up game of the week. I find this one interesting too. Bunny, I'm going to be playing it right now. If you want to talk about it.
I'm just going to load the website. I'll keep loading them as I go through. This one's the Dream. It's kind of like the Dream Machine last week. 2 weeks ago, but this time it has Oculus Rift support, so you can also be like more virtual reality. I believe it's point and click if I remember correctly when I looked about it the other day.
Oh my God, it's terrifying.
It's 3D environment, non-linear, so you can have as many. You're free to explore everywhere. It's got multiple endings, and like you can do different things at different times. You can collect, find things. So it's quite, different, like the different style of game. So.
Yeah. One thing I'm curious about, and I've watched trailers and read it, and this is straight out of my notes, is I didn't see a lot more out of this before I throw money at it. They don't give you enough in the way of gameplay. I mean, what they've got looks pretty, but there's not a lot of substance behind this right now. The trailer's pretty and everything, but I need more.
There's no gameplay to this yet.
And,
I don't know.
Go ahead, Ranger.
Constructed and sculpted.
Yeah, well, I mean, I was watching the thing and I was like, I think, like, what was my comment on the doc? My comment on the doc was something. It was like, what did I say? I'm going to actually read it because I can't remember.
I'm dealing with that.
Yeah. Because there's like a dialogue. There's like a guy doing dialogue, and that reminded me of the guy in Thomas Was Alone, or Thomas Is Alone.
Yeah.
And I was like, that game was really fun, and Myst is really fun. So like these two things together might be really fun.
Yeah, I also like the way it has multiple endings. So you literally could, instead of turning left one way and someone turns right, you could both end up with two different like endings to the story. So I find that quite interesting that there's many like tree paths to everything. So yeah, I find that kind of interesting that you can end up in different places, and it's like a free world, so you can explore whatever you like, which I find is quite nice, and collect things. And so yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting if there's more gameplay come out about it, because I think it'd be quite good.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it'll be interesting. If they show me something that's really cool as far as the gameplay goes, I'm definitely on board, because once again, it's the Rift, and I really am behind the Oculus, but I'm afraid it's going to be one of these things where, well, let's just take the Wii for example, where people just, oh my God, the Wii motion controls, and we got a bunch of shovelware that wasn't really good. I don't necessarily think that'll happen with the Rift, but there's going to be some stuff in there, and I'm always eyeing Rift stuff a little speculatively. So, but I like what they're saying to me as far as the idea goes.
Yeah, the concept of this is good.
Yeah.
Let's see if they can execute it now. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's certainly got its own style, and I always have a lot of respect for games that decide to come out with their own style.
Yeah.
And a lot of the time, I mean, it seems like a style that I can definitely appreciate. There's just not enough yet, like what Don was saying. It's just not enough yet for you to be like, oh my god, I must get this game. And I've done that for games before, where they show me enough that I'm like, oh my god, I'll have this game the day it releases. you know?
And sometimes I've been horribly disappointed.
Yeah.
So,
that happens. That happens.
That's true.
Well, since it keeps coming up because we've been talking about the Rift, let's go ahead and move on to the, elephant in the room, the Kinect. I'll go ahead and just give a little bit of my 2 cents worth and let you guys chime in before we move on, or to move on to the real topic. But the Xbox One is coming. So is the PlayStation 4. The problem is that Microsoft has repeatedly shot themselves in the foot with the Xbox One.
You do that to yourself. You do that to yourself when you say things, and then everybody's like, "We hate these things," and then they're like, "Oh, let's take back all these things."
Yeah.
And
it got to the point where it was just comical. Like E3, I hope some people lost their jobs over E3. Not because I want people to lose their jobs, and not be able to support their family, but just because some of the decisions that they made were so stupid. You need to get out of the industry if you're going to be like that.
Yeah.
I understand the price point and pulling the price point back. That happens. The PlayStation 3 was a freaking disaster when it launched because of that. But then the used game nonsense, the always on nonsense, and just on and on and on, and I stopped reading Xbox news for a while, and I'm a big Xbox gamer. I was just like, stop, Microsoft, just stop. STAHP, stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, basically, I read everything that I read, and I saw everything that I saw, and I watched their E3 stuff, and all this stuff, where it's like, they're trying to make it more convenient, but they're also trying to save the game developer companies, when really Xbox as a company doesn't really speak for any of the small game developer companies. They only want to talk about the big game developer companies, and they want to make lots of money. So they want you to not be able to sell back your games because the person basically had to buy the game again to get the permissions to play it.
Exactly.
Which, by the way, I know a couple of places that are going to completely go out of business if you do that.
Me too.
But the Kinect always being on has huge Big Brother kind of implications that terrify people. And the Kinect, my friend has a Kinect. She was like, oh, the Kinect is cool and all those kinds of things. And she does have some pretty cool things that she can do in Mass Effect, where she could be like, oh, do this. And I'm like, who are you talking to? She's like, oh, I told my person to do this. I'm like, oh. But, the Big Brother tendencies, and then the fact that you can walk into a room and it'll turn itself on.
Yeah.
Because it saw you. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
And if you unplug it, you can't play your Xbox for a week? I'm like, excuse me?
Yeah, and that's getting to the heart of the point. That's what they've come out and said not too long ago, was that the Xbox One will still function even without the Kinect plugged in. And as Ranger just alluded to, this is big news because that wasn't apparently originally the case. I'm an avid Penny Arcade reader, and they made fun of this real bad. I encourage people to go look those comics up. They're hilarious. But just who thought this was a good idea in the first place, to have something that can see you and hear you, always watching,
that you can't turn off.
Yeah.
That you can't turn off, or you get penalized for it. And I'm like, hold on. If my internet goes out for a day and my Xbox can't do a check, you're banning me for 24 hours?
Yeah.
I was like, no, I'll buy a PlayStation. I was like, fuck that shit. I mean, sorry. But, I was like, okay. Basically, I saw E3, and it was like, I like Xbox and all of the Xbox Live, and I can party chat with my friends, and it was like glass shattering in front of my face. I was like, what? And I'm happy that they're backpedaling, but it shows a lot of not spine to backpedal. But they were going to lose a large portion of their audience.
Yeah.
And I really want those next gen engines.
I do too.
You know?
I do too.
So
Yeah.
I want, because the last time an Xbox was made was, I don't know, 10 years ago? Like,
Yeah.
you know,
It's been a
it
while.
definitely needs a new, it needs a revamp.
Yeah.
But it needs one that's not going to break everybody's heart, you know?
I do think the PS4 probably will sell out more than the Xbox One when they're released because of everything that Microsoft has done. Because obviously they've backpedaled quite a lot and they've made kind of a fool out of themselves.
It remains
So-
to be seen how much damage they've actually done to their brand with all this, and we're not going to know
Yeah.
until launch. But one thing I find interesting, and I'll just read this real quick, is it's an update off the Polygon article we're referencing. Bunny, you can throw the link into the chat. Actually, you know what? I've got chat up, so there it is.
Yeah, my chat's still not loaded.
Yeah, mine finally did. They're saying, this is an update on it, responding to a post on NeoGAF asking if an Xbox One user would be out of luck, say, if the Xbox Kinect sensor fell and broke. Perfectly logical scenario. So, they said, and I quote, "The thing we all understood, and hence this change, is there are some scenarios where people just may not be comfortable. We wanted people to be 100% comfortable, so we allowed the sensor to be unplugged, and clearly the it dropped scenario is possible. They also apparently now have a ton of privacy settings to allow you to turn off the camera, or the microphones, or just put it in a state where just Xbox One or IR blasting will work." So, they've gone in and added a lot of
Privacy settings.
other stuff. And
Well, like, part of me is happy that they said everything they said at E3. Because imagine if the console released this way.
Yeah.
It would have been a disaster.
yeah.
And people wouldn't have known because they would have been really excited about the new Xbox and the new engine and the new games. And they're like, and they would have all gone out and bought it, and then everybody would have been pissed off. It would have been the PlayStation 3 hacks all over again. You would see videos on YouTube of people smashing them,
Yeah.
all those kinds of things, just because, you know, I'm really happy that they warned us all about that, and they have this chance to change everything. But, like Bunny said, damage has been done.
Yeah.
So we'll just have to see if they can recover themselves, because they've been really famous for a long time for being kind of like the cheaper console that everybody wants to have, and it's like very friendly kind of thing.
Yeah.
But wasn't the PS4 cheaper than the Xbox?
Yeah, by $100.
Yeah.
But how they equate that is that you're also getting a Kinect, which is an extra $100 anyway. But like, can't you just buy the console?
Yeah, and then,
Yeah, of course.
for people like me, I don't want to connect. So if I do get an Xbox One,
I don't want one.
yeah, if I get an Xbox One, the Kinect's going to go in the closet. I'm sorry, I just don't care. I don't want it. It doesn't do anything for
Yeah.
me. So
There should be an option without the Kinect. You know what I mean? There should be an option which doesn't have the Kinect.
yeah, and you know, I've
Yeah,
had a couple
and the
people,
thing is that will sell.
it will. I've had a couple people say, well, you can control your DVDs and all this, and you know, things with your voice and your hands. I don't do it now. I don't need it. The furthest I go is
No.
controlling my cable box with my Wii U gamepad. And
Well, the thing that gets me, okay, if I'm having trouble with a game and I'm upset, I can throw a controller, right? Controllers are cheap, buy a new one, whatever. If I'm trying to control something with my hand, press play or whatever, I don't have anything to throw.
you can hurl yourself at the TV, but TVs are kind of expensive, so I'd recommend
Stop.
against it.
Yeah.
But and one thing I want to point out is I saw this in the chat. Thayat said that people are still going to buy it no matter all the crap. While that may be true, it also there's a lot of people that are the quote unquote, and I hate this term, core gamers. But the long-term dedicated fans that are probably going to be just enough put off by that they wouldn't buy it at launch and just wait. So
Yeah.
it's gonna Microsoft. I'm sorry, it's not going to go the way of Sega. This isn't going to be a Dreamcast. It's just not. But I think it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out because it's not. I think it's not going to be as good of a launch as it could have been if they hadn't shot themselves in the foot 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, I think what they need to do is they need to offer, like Bunny said, they need to offer without Kinect, and they need to offer it for $100 cheaper.
Yeah.
And then
Touch.
that will sell.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
And then people will get the next gen that they wanted. It's just they spent so much time, see, like the Microsoft and Xbox, the Kinect, they spent so much time and research and money making the Kinect, and they wanted to make it a requirement. But you can't impose stuff like that on your consumers and just expect everybody to be like, oh yeah, okay, whatever. Charge us an extra $100 and put all this security Big Brother shit at us. Like you can't impose things on an audience that we're consumers. It's our money. We don't have to spend our money on you.
Yeah.
You know? Especially with the PS4 releasing the same year for $100 cheaper that has none of that shit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
There is a few things wrong with the PS4, but it's not as bad as Microsoft.
No, yeah.
It's not. It's not gonna.
I want to talk about this on another show, but the Twitch thing on the PS4 has me a little scared.
Yeah.
So.
Why? Why is that not awesome?
I'm just thinking about the Call of Duty community having the access to streaming anytime they want to.
Well, I would love to watch some of the Twitch trolls, you know who you are, go out there and tell people how much people suck at playing Call of Duty, you know? And it's like, oh, whatever, I'm going to play Call of Duty, and the Twitch trolls are going to go nuts, and then these people are never going to stream again.
You're
Can't
right.
you already stream Call of Duty from an Xbox 360 already?
You can, but
you can.
It's an absolute nightmare to get it working.
Yeah.
It is the most user-unfriendly thing I've ever seen. It is even, I'll put it this way, Windows 3.1 is more user-friendly than that crap.
Ouch. Well, the thing is, you can't do anything to it. It just plumps it up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like, you can't change any specs. You can't put your face on it. Like, it just, which I like to have my face there because I have good reactions when stuff happens. But, like, every once in a while I pick my nose, you know, that good stuff. But, like, you just can't, it just plunks everything online. It's like, there you go, you're done.
Yeah, it's like, you're streaming. So.
Yeah, it's not the best thing in the world. And apparently, Gunther, the Twitch isn't going to be on the Xbox One. So it's only going to be on the PS4, which is, again...
Well, no, Faye is saying, isn't it going to be on there? I'm not sure. I've heard yay and I've heard nay, so...
Yeah.
All right. I want to move on to a happy fun time topic. Yay! All right. Am I the only one in here that had an original NES growing up?
Probably.
Probably.
I had Sega.
Okay, you were a Sega girl. That's fine.
I think my first one was the PS1.
I had a Sega, and my cousin had a Nintendo.
Nice.
And then my cat is in front of the screen and I can't see shit. And then I had PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3.
Okay. So
that's my lineage.
I had an Atari 2600. That's how old I am. And then I got an NES. I've told this story before, I think, but my parents, I really, really, really wanted a video game system for Christmas. And then my parents got me a Nintendo with Super Mario and the Duck Hunt cartridge, which was awesome.
Oh, Duck Hunt was the shit. Oh.
Except they gave it to me the Christmas that the Super Nintendo came out.
Oh, no.
Yep. So, but one of my all-time favorite games on the original NES just got remade. And
Yay.
it's
DuckTales!
DuckTales Remastered. Now, I have had a chance to play a little bit of it, and I'm showing it behind us. It is a very, very pretty game, and from everything I've read and from the little hands-on experience I have with it, they've pretty much kept the gameplay intact. This is Capcom's DuckTales game, just with a pretty skin over it. There's a couple problems that it has, though. One of the things that immediately jumped out to me is it's an NES. It was an NES game. It's not going to have a great story setup, obviously. I mean, Scrooge is going to find money. I mean, that's pretty much a good setup for a DuckTales game, right?
Yep.
This game has...
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, this new one, has story coming out the ears. It beats you over the head with plot. You sit there and you listen to people talk, and you listen to people talk, and you listen to people talk, and you listen to people talk. The other problem is that it doesn't remember that you've watched that cutscene before, so it'll make you play it again. And
oh god.
DuckTales is this is just showing me being old, but DuckTales is a non-linear game. If you remember, you can pick the levels in whatever order you want to.
Yeah.
The reason for that is the original DuckTales is built on the Mega Man engine. And that's what
Oh.
Mega Man was so groundbreaking for. Was Mega Man was the first game where you could ever pick your own level, whatever you want to right off the bat. So many people remember Cutman being the first boss in Mega Man because he was the top left, which is where it defaulted to, and people weren't used to being able to pick their bosses. But the truth is, every Mega Man game, the engine's built to let you progress however you want. So, how are you going to have a coherent story where it's a non-linear set of gameplay, and why aren't you going to remember that I've already been through this gameplay section, and I can't... You could skip the cutscenes, but you got to go all the way back out to the main menu. Why do I have to do that? So, I think it's a great idea to remake it. Go ahead.
But it's not done correctly.
Is it released or is it still beta?
No, it's released. It's out, and it's getting very mixed reviews. And I can't.
Maybe it needs a patch then.
I can't believe I was saying this, but one of the most impartial reviews that I've seen, or at least fair reviews, is actually from IGN, because IGN spent a fair amount of time bashing it for the things that I just said, and then they were also like, "But the gameplay's awesome." So, and
gameplay can save you if it's fun to play.
Yeah. The kind of thing that I want to open up here is, obviously talk about DuckTales in and of itself, but also remake or original when it comes to games like this, because the remake thing is just all the craze these days. Even with games that I wouldn't consider classics, like Devil May Cry HD remake. Really? I played Devil May Cry in college. I'm not that old. So, I mean, my 2 cents worth on it is I'm kind of sick of the remake thing, and if you're going to remake a game, can you please just slap an HD skin on it and not screw with things? Because for some games, like the old school Mega Man, some of the things about the game that maybe weren't great development decisions back then are actually part of the nostalgia factor. I'd be upset if I played through a Quick Man stage and didn't get unfairly killed by the lasers every so often. It just wouldn't be the same game.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, for remakes, that depends. It depends largely. It depends on how much I like the original game and what they changed.
Yeah.
Because if they changed that thing that I didn't like about the original game, yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. But it's kind of hard to gauge something like that unless it was a universally hated thing. And it could be that one thing I really loved about the game is what they end up changing. Yeah. So it's tough to tell, and it depends. Sometimes, I mean, I'll go back and play the original and have just as much fun with it as I did the first time.
I will too.
So, yeah.
I think, and then there's another side to it. Like, they redid A Boy and His Blob, but they really, really changed that game up. And I wouldn't call that so much a remaster or a remake as a reimagining. Because the game is wildly different. It's still the same core concept, but the way it's executed is much different.
It's different. Yeah.
So, as far as the DuckTales...
And sometimes that could save it, though, too.
Yeah.
If there was a game that was really good concept, it was just executed poorly. If they decided to go back and execute it how they probably should have the first time, but they didn't think of it, which happens, then, totally for a remake.
Yeah. And do you guys think that they're doing too many of them, like starting to remake games that are so new that you're just like, why are you making a remake of this? How much money do I need to give you?
Yeah.
Sometimes people just want more money.
Yeah.
If they're upset with how much money that they made the first time, that doesn't mean you have license to go and make another one just because you want more money, though.
Yeah.
You should have made a better first game.
Yeah. And or fully fleshed out all of your ideas. This comes to mind because I've been playing it today, but I've gotten Saints Row 4, and I'm working on it for my YouTube channel. Shameless plug. But I'm really enjoying the game, but there's one big problem, and it keeps slapping me in the face every time I turn around in that game. And Ranger, I'm not going to spoil anything for you, but this is just, if you've looked at the game at all, you'll know this. It was originally going to be a DLC for Saints Row the Third, and they decided to turn it into a full game, which is fine because the ideas they're using for the full game of Saints Row 4 are so radically different, the superpowers and all that. But it's the same map from Saints Row the Third.
Oh.
It's the same city. That, to me, it's been bothering me as I've been playing the game. Not to say that it's ruining the game by any means and I'm not having fun, but that's kind of one of those things where, talking about how much money do you want? But But who's to say what would have happened to the
They
DLC?
didn't bother to make a new map.
Yeah, but who's to say what would have happened to the DLC if it hadn't been turned into a full game because it was a THQ property and yada yada yada, and we all know that sad story.
Yeah.
But, and speaking of remakes, I'd like to see Capcom. Can you please stop just raping Mega Man and give me some either remade Mega Man games or something new, please, God. Please, it's all I'm
I would
asking
like
for.
to see. I would love to see a reskinning, like a retexturing, and maybe some touch-ups of the original Resident Evil. I miss that game so much. That was like one of my first console games ever.
Yeah, I remember being terrified of the freaking dogs when I was a kid.
Yeah, they're terrifying. And you go back and play it now, like I remember playing like Tomb Raider, the first Tomb Raider. And we know Tomb Raider has been done and done and done. It's done. Don't make another game, please.
Yeah.
But the original Tomb Raider, I remember it being terrifying and big and having awesome graphics because like that's what it was. That was the level that it was back then in the day. And I got it on a Steam sale and I went to play it and I was like, God, this is like worse than some of the indie games that I've played. And this was like a full release title, you know?
It shows how much the industry's changed.
Yeah. I mean, it's just that it's changed that much, but I would love to see like a retexturing of like Resident Evil 1 and a touch up of like Tomb Raider. Like those two, you could charge me full price for something like that, even though I played them already.
I would agree completely. It's funny that you mentioned Resident Evil because they've done reskinnings of a fair number of the Resident Evil games, just not the first one. I mean, God, how many versions of Resident Evil 4?
The first one is the best one!
Yeah, I'll argue with you there because I really, really love Resident Evil 4.
Resident Evil 4 is pretty good. I was not a fan of, they started changing the controls up and you couldn't turn and shoot or you couldn't move and shoot. I was like, ah!
Yeah.
And it worked in the first one, but they started making more complex enemies and then it's like, ah.
Yeah, it
please.
Really, it didn't work. Now, I'm curious, have you played the new Tomb Raider, the reboot?
I must have. I've played every single Tomb Raider game ever.
The most recent one that
I probably played it for a console, though.
One that's just come out. It's the one that just came out.
Oh, like this week?
No. I mean, it came out at the end of last year, but it's not that old of a game.
Yeah.
It's the one where it's young Lara and she's in the shipwreck.
Oh, yeah. No, of course I have. Oh, my
God. that game to me...
Yes, I have.
That game to me also is kind of the reimagining that I like with games, because that game has a lot going for it. It took a lot of flack for some of the stuff that they really didn't market well or show off well, like that supposed rape scene thing that happened, which I understand where people were coming from, but it was pulled way out of context of what was actually happening in the game.
Yeah, it was pulled out of context a lot.
But
because the game is amazing. Like, I loved playing that game.
Hands down, to me, it is probably the best Tomb Raider they've ever made. It is an amazing, amazing piece of gaming.
Oh yeah, no, it's really, really, really good. Who developed it? You would almost think that Bethesda made it because of how pretty it is, but
you would.
Bethesda is just pretty. Oh, I caused my camera to fuck up its focus.
Yeah, you're fine.
Come on, camera. It's back.
Now one that... Bunny, didn't you find this one that I'm about to pull up? I think you did.
Which one?
You know what? I really think... I'm just going to read...
The one I put, can we do next?
Yes, I'm just going to read... Did you put that in there while I was talking?
Yes.
I'm just going to read you guys straight off of our topic sheet what this said. Holy balls, a jetpack with a legal flight permit.
The notes are from Mike, seems legit. From Dine, I'm going to be a motherfucking rooster. Rocketeer. I put, I want to be a bird. And Ranger goes, call me when it comes out of a briefcase and would be compact or cheap enough to make sense for a typical consumer.
Now, Ranger, did you get
See,
my
that's
Rocketeer
the thing.
reference?
I always bring it back down. I'm like, that's gonna be $1,000, or that's fucking huge, or that's really loud.
It's also really freaking cool.
Yep,
it's pretty cool. Yeah,
so,
it's very cool.
But is he a licensed pilot? I didn't read the whole article.
There's an article there. All I saw was a video of a guy with a jetpack, which is not.
There was an article,
playing.
I think.
Hello.
I think there's an article underneath.
Is there?
Yes, there is.
Damn you, Discovery Channel. This is the Discovery Channel website. It's the devil, so...
Yeah, it is.
Well, I imagine they're not known for their video rendering.
No. Anyways, the concept is there's a jetpack that has a legal approved flight permit. So,
Yep.
what would you guys do if you
Which
had a
means
jetpack?
it works and it doesn't explode.
Yes.
Yeah.
What would you do if you had a jetpack? 30 seconds apiece. Go.
Fly to Canada and fly to meet all you lot.
Okay.
You'd never see me on the ground. That's all. You'd never see me on the ground. I'd just be flying around everywhere. I've always said that if I ever had a superpower, it would be to fly.
Fair enough.
Nice.
I will tell you exactly what you would see out of me. The first damn thing I would do, I would take that motherfucker through the drive-thru at Taco Bell just to mess with people.
Oh no!
Yes.
I just hover up outside the window and just be like, "What up? I want 2 soft tacos and a burrito, bitch." And then when I paid them, I just fly away in my jetpack. It'd be amazing. The next thing I would do is I would go, because we still have these around where I live, I would go to the drive-in movie theater and just hover.
I bet they would kick you out. No, I bet they would kick you out of the drive-thru because that's not a car. And I bet you would get like the sassy person that's like, "I'm sorry, sir, that's not a car." And then you could go to the drive-in and they would be like, "I'm sorry, you're blocking the people, you have to go."
Probably. Anyways, guys, there is a real-life jetpack that is not going to kill you, but has a legal flight permit. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Bunny, I'm going to give this one to you because my notes on it literally say yawn. Next topic, please. That would be the Civ Online MMO.
Yep. Yeah, the Civ Online MMO is they're going to try and make Civ, which is an RTS, not an RTS, a turn-based strategy game, into an online strategy game. So basically you have to work with your teammates, and each game will kind of be split into sessions. So you're not going to be spending 45 hours playing a game of Civ. You probably spend 2 hours. If someone reaches a target, that they win that session, and that's how they can do it. And then you have to play with a lot of people because everybody will help to build one thing, or it kind of works like that. That's how they're marketed as. So it's interesting that they're going to try and change this into online gaming and an MMO basically, but I'm not quite sure on it because Civ is turn-based. I'm not sure on how it work as multiplayer online.
Yeah, Civ has its niche, and I love Civ, and me and Bunny play Civ all the time. We have like a standing date Saturday morning to play Civ.
Yep.
And nobody's gonna mess with it. But like my comment on this thing was like Civ already has online gameplay.
Yeah.
Like I could see them making an MMO if like it was a single player game, but it already works as a multiplayer game online being turn-based, especially with how they changed it with the new game where it's not like each person has to take a turn and you sit there for 45 minutes until everybody's done. Everybody's doing their turn at the same time. And it works, it flows really well, and you can change the timing if you want to. You can be like, you only get 26 seconds, all this kind of stuff. So I saw this and it looked kind of cartoony, and I was like, it's going to come back down to the execution again, where you can have a really good idea and execute it badly, and it's going to tank. So, I mean, it's going to come down to the execution, and I don't know if it's going to get any money out of me, only because I already have Civ and I really enjoy it.
I'm not a Civ player, obviously. So, my first thought, though, was doesn't this game already have online? So,
yeah, it does already have online, and it works. Like, you can change it so it's quick game, short game, long game, marathon game. Everything is virtually customizable. So,
what the hell are we watching, by the way?
Well, I could only find like a 41-second trailer for Civ Online, so I decided to put silly cats doing silly things in the background.
But I'm sure there's more Civ videos out there.
I can only find the one.
Cats.
So,
but just watch cats, it's fun.
Indeed. Actually, it's about time for a mini commercial break anyways, and I know exactly what I want to play for that. So...
You do commercial breaks?
I am today.
Oh.
Oh dear, I'm scared.
So, here we go.
I can't see the stream,
It's
just
okay.
FYI.
You
What?
son of a bitch.
Did you do it? I've bought this, so. Oh, they can still see our faces.
I know.
Oh.
What's the matter? The CIA got you pushing too many pencils? Huh?
Alright, I'm an ass. Even I can't take myself seriously on that any longer.
I'm so confused.
What the heck?
I'm so confused because I can't see the stream. I can just hear what you're playing, which I don't even know what it was.
It's Guile's theme manliest handshake. So, hence why when Billy D and Arnold shook, there was a nuclear explosion, because, come on. Anyways.
Them guns, everyone. Them guns.
Yep, them guns. Now, on to something else. My childhood has recently been wrecked.
Oh,
Even
no.
more so than the Mega Man raping.
Not yet rated.
And this is why. This. I don't know who came up with this, but I would like to find them, and I would like to punch them repeatedly. Because it is Pac-Man Adventure. Oh! Pac-Man 3D Adventure. This game just, it makes me
Where is the
rage.
black background?
Yeah, I know. I mean...
It's too colorful!
And-
I can't!
And Pac-Man doesn't double jump, and Pac-Man doesn't eat freaking hamburgers, and go through Futurama tubes, and Superman, fly. This is not...
And you know what? It's totally... The smile is implied. He's not supposed to be that happy.
Yeah.
No. So,
I just...
I found this, and quite a few games have made Down Rage this week. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
Absolutely fine.
And I like Mike's note for this. Mike's note just says, "There's lore." So Mike was completely confused. He's like, "There's enough behind Pac-Man to build a 3D game."
Well, there's enough, if you make it up.
Yeah, exactly. Fall 2013. Packisback.com. Please shoot me.
Oh,
Please.
ouch.
Ugh. Ugh.
It was you vomiting up all the dots.
Yeah.
You don't
it's-
do that! Anyway.
It's just gross. I just... Ugh. You know what? There's not another video of that, so I'm just going to play it on loop, and we can all just be tortured. But what do you guys think about this? I really just... Of all the properties to just do this to... And Phoenix, no, Pac-Man did not get Murica. This is just... Nah.
That's what it looks like!
But
It looks
Pac-Man
like
is
Pac-Man.
2D, pixelated, and you're this tiny little Pac-Man who runs around eating things around the screen. If you hit one of those blobby things, you die.
Yeah.
That is
Well,
Pac-Man, and you eat fruit to do magical powers.
I think I know what they're going for, though. They're going for being able... Because, like, back in the day, kids played this game, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Now, kids would not be entertained by the original Pac-Man because they're used to games that look like this one. So, basically, they want to market the game to children again. They want to hit another generation, but they think that this is what they have to do so. Unfortunately, there's all these people that played the first Pac-Man and thought it was awesome, that now see this and are like, what the hell are you thinking?
Yeah. Pretty
It's
much.
too colorful. It's too round. I miss. It's too cutesy, kitty. I wouldn't be surprised if Disney had a hand.
Yeah, I don't think they do, but it wouldn't surprise me either.
It's too cute. It's too cutie. It's almost like they wanted to go for a Spyro-ish,
Yeah.
but Spyro was awesome, and he was a dragon, and this is like a little circle dude. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
No, not really. All right, I'm going to throw this next one in here real quick because the Pac-Man thing has just got right ahead and got me warmed up. Bunny, you might as well introduce this if we want anything coherent out of this conversation.
And
It's playing right now.
Get the link up there. Okay. The new Rayman game. Rayman Legends. Rayman is... This was supposed to be a Wii U exclusive, but people rage because they don't have a Wii U and can't be fucked to go and buy one. So they've made it available for everybody else, and they've changed what they were going to do with the game. First of all, like they were supposed to just do what the Wii U has, the console thing. You can play it without having the TV on. They've changed all that and made it into a normal, boring ass game, basically.
Yeah, the Wii U. That's another case of ideas. We don't like these ideas. Okay, let's take this back a bit.
Yeah.
Where it's like these game developers, everybody's trying to come up with something new, right? But you can't force upon, like, there are people that are fans of Rayman, right? And they want to play all the games, they love it, And you put it on this tiny little, I mean, not to say that Nintendo is tiny, oh my god, Nintendo will kill me in my sleep. But they want to be able to play their game, and then you're going to make it exclusive.
Yeah.
And you're going to make it exclusive on a game console that's not superly popular. Not to say it's not popular, it's very crowd friendly.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a little stroll through the history of this game, shall we? And here's how much rage Dime has over this. Dime doesn't need an article to go through this little history. Rayman Legends, originally announced, leaked actually in April of 2012. It's supposed to be a Wii U launch title. Wii U launched on November 30th of 2012. On October 8th, it was reported that it was going to be delayed. Then, sometime in the first week of December, a demo was released on the eShop, which was amazing. Then the official release date was pushed back to the end of February 2013. Then, it was delayed further until September of this year so that they could make it for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 instead of letting it be the console exclusive that we were supposed to get. Then, they decided that they were going to dumb it down for the people that have the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 so that we couldn't get all of our Wii U gamepad exclusive features, which are still in there, and our consolation prize is to get some crappy levels that they're just going to give us as DLC. Screw you, Microsoft and Sony. I'm done.
Wow, that was amazing. I mean, I have a Wii U, and I love being able to play. Like, I play Little Inferno on the little thing all the time. Like, that's totally my thing to do. I love it. Because I have Little Inferno for the computer as well, but I love being able to just play it on the thing where, like, I'm watching something else,
Yeah,
it's like,
really
that's a cool movie, burn things. But the Wii U, I mean, the Wii U is such a cool concept. I just wish they would have made more games. I mean, sorry to, like, stray from Rayman, but I just wish they would have made more games like Zombie U, which it actually has its own little function.
Yeah.
Like, an exclusive makes sense for a game like that versus, like, a game they could have released for everybody anyway.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of guess it does. The other carrot that they've thrown us actually makes me even more angry. That Wii U owners that download the Rayman Legends Challenge app, which gave us like a challenge level every day, in which I just was so enraged about that I didn't play it. But we'll get an exclusive costume for Rayman. Ooh, thanks guys, an exclusive costume. This is not freaking Assassin's Creed. Thank you.
Yeah.
I love the costumes in Assassin's Creed, as an aside.
I do love them too, but you know what? It's actually more fair to compare that to Hat Fortress 2. So,
Hat Fortress.
it is Hat Fortress, but quite aside from the fact that I am a big Nintendo fanboy because I try to, put things into perspective when I'm talking about Nintendo products, this whole thing it really, really just... It bugs me because it's the way that I see game development going a lot these days. And yeah, I've said it myself that the exclusive thing needs to go away. But
yeah,
in this case... It's not going to.
Yeah, it's not going to. And also, in this case, this game was developed as a Wii U exclusive for a bloody reason. The PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 don't have the built-in capability to pull this game off like it was originally envisioned. They just can't do it. So
yeah.
I don't know. I've said my piece on it. I probably look like a raving lunatic, but this just caused me a lot of rage. So.
No, you're passionate about it. You have an opinion. This is why we do this. I don't know, the whole exclusives thing. Sorry, I'm not a hardcore Rayman fan, so I don't really have that much to say about Rayman itself. So if you want to just cut me off, that's
you're fine. I welcome the other point of view.
Yeah, the whole exclusives thing, I know why they do it, and I think I've bought exclusive games before. Because I just said I have Zombie U. Zombie U is a Wii U exclusive. But, like you said before, it was a Wii U exclusive for a reason. Because the little console that you have in your hand, or the little gamepad that you have in your hand, serves a function. And it serves an awesome function because you're playing the game and you pull this up to check you have to look away to check your book bag and then come back up. There's no pause menu.
Yeah.
You're still in the game with the zombies when you have to check your bag. And it brings a whole kind of realism to the game. So that kind of thing makes sense. Mm-hmm. But when you release Halo for Xbox and The Last of Us for PlayStation,
there's no reason to that.
Really, guys? I mean,
I can't understand why they did release The Last of Us for PlayStation, though.
It's the game developers.
Yeah.
It's the Xbox and the PlayStation 3 are fighting against each other constantly.
And also, they've developed it on... Because, like, The Last of Us is, like, a new company and stuff. They've developed it on one console.
The Last of Us is not a new company. Isn't The Last of Us Naughty Dog?
Was it Naughty Dog? I can't remember.
Sure Last of Us is Naughty Dog.
But the thing, I think what The Last of Us did, and they may have done it completely on purpose, thanks for checking, is that Xbox routinely and regularly, I mean, it's well publicized that they screw the heck out of indie developers and developers in general for release dates. And it could have been that they signed with PlayStation on purpose for partially that reason. I think I read that somewhere.
Apparently Naughty Dog only develop it.
I confirm myself and Fayat did too. It is Naughty Dog that made Last of Us, and Naughty Dog has a very long tradition of only developing for Sony.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because Naughty Dog is one of the premier developers out there today. Everything they touch is gold. So.
Yeah, The Last of Us is an amazing game.
It was such a good game. Oh my god. I kick myself in the butt for not knowing XSplit settings and not being able to stream it at 720. I can stream at 720 now. But I almost wanted to go back and play it again in 720 so that you guys could see it because it's that beautiful. It just blew my mind. The part, I'm not going to say because Dime hasn't played it. But there's that really pretty part. I sat there, I had tears in my eyes. I was like, this is so beautiful.
It's near the end.
I personally haven't played it, Ranger, but I have seen the entire game because there is a PS3 in this house. I'm just not the one that uses it. And
You're not allowed.
Well, no, I'm not. I prefer my Xbox. That's just a personal choice. But she has played through the whole game, although it was painful to watch because she played it like it was Gears of War.
Oh no! Show me why.
She finally got the hang of it, and it was a really intriguing game to watch, especially as far as the different gameplay decisions and just. It's a very pretty game. It's also a very bleak game, and I really enjoyed that.
It's bleak and pretty, and then there's like golden moments, and like towards the end, there's some really touching moments, and like there is a lot of gore and like horror in it. But like it's kind of the twist on the zombie game because it's not actually
a zombie game.
Yeah, it's a fungal infection, so it's not the typical zombie game, and
I did never actually feel like it was even really a survival horror game. I felt like it was just a straight up survival adventure game, just a journey.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like a survival adventure game. I mean, there were parts that scared you, but survival
is the
alone is what scares you. It's not. It doesn't have to be a horror game to be scary.
Yeah.
Like you could have no health kits and no food and no nothing and your last bullet, and then you walk into a room and it's full of shit, and you're like, oh god! And you can sneak. You have the ability to sneak, but sneaking is scary and it's hard. And it's just. It was a good game. I would give it a 10 out of 10. Go play it.
I've just seen the whole playthrough by Hannah on the Yogscast, and it was amazing.
No, because I can only watch Hannah for so long.
Because I was going to play it.
Yeah. A lot of people have avoided till they've played it.
Yeah. There are two things left that I kind of... There's a couple things left I do want to talk about if we have time. Bunny, I don't ask this, but I can't... I'll screw up stuff if I look at chat. I think you just sent me a timer. Where are we?
An hour and 3 minutes.
Okay. We'll do just one or two more. And I actually think I might let the chat choose this one. I'm going to set it up, and then I'm going to let you talk about Betrayer. And
Betrayer, yes.
And then, yeah, I think it's mistyped in here. And then when we get done with that, we'll let them vote on the last topic. So guys, what you have is chat. There's two things I'm going to throw out to you, and I'll keep it on the chat and tally it up. However many of you are watching, probably all three of you. But there's two topics that I'm considering for us to talk about for the last thing in the show, and one of those is, I just lost it, mobile phone gaming. What do we think about it? Basically just the general topic of mobile phone gaming. And the other one is indie games played by YouTubers and the phenomenon that a lot of the time that they do blow up. So we could talk about YouTube's effect on indie games, or we can talk about mobile phone gaming. That is up to you guys. Just toss yay or nay for one of them. Whatever. Just toss the subject into the chat, and I'll keep track of them. That'll be what we talk about. And Bunny, if you want to set up Betrayed.
Betrayed isn't a very interesting artsy style game. It's set in the New World, which obviously America, at the turn of the 17th century, or 1604, and on the coast of Virginia. And it's a very interesting style game. It's a black and white game, predominantly, with hints of red. So, like, a lot of blood is red, a lot of actions you need to do are red, and, like, stuff like that. Kind of key elements are red, which is quite an interesting style. It's an early access game, so it's not completely finished yet. But it does look a very interesting game to play. And I'm wondering how the lack of colour will affect the immersion and the kind of, the game develop, like how people will react to the game. Because obviously there's no colour. So it's going to be an interesting game if and when it gets released. So I can't wait to see how that is kind of portrayed by people. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Personally, I'm kind of intrigued by it. The art style I really like. I've played a game not a lot of people have played called Mad World on the Wii. Mad World is an incredibly violent game, especially for Nintendo. It is brutal, but it's all black and white, and everything's done in, the blood's all in red and everything. I really like that art style. If it's done right, it can really bring a lot to the game. The thing that I'm curious about with Betrayer is what's the exploration going to be like? Because it touts exploration. And what exactly is actually going on in the game? 'Cause this has kind of been done to death in terms of gaming and storytelling. I mean, the most recent Assassin's Creed kind of touched on this time frame. Again, this is just me, just being me. The last thing that confused me is I read the recommended tech specs for this game. And why in the hell is it recommending that you have a GTX 660 Titan card to run this game? I'm sorry, I don't quite understand it, but that's just kind of me being me. But I'm very much interested in this because some of the pictures that we see show a decision tree, or, well, at least limited decision making, and then there's also a lot of supernatural looking stuff going on. And I'm really interested to see how they do this.
It also needs a 3 GHz dual-core processor too.
I mean, for a black and white game, this thing is really demanding a lot of the system.
Well, I don't know. For the art style of the game, I like it. I know in my comments I was like, "Fuck this," but in the art style, I do like it, and it intrigues me because using the black and white and throwing in red as like your like action color, right? You have the power to like kind of guide and like put the player in a very specific place at a specific time, and you can mess with their head. It's like you can do all these things, and with the supernatural element of it, I have a feeling it can be scary, but not scary to the fact that you want it. It's not like pop out scary.
Mm-hmm.
Like all of a sudden you'll see, oh, there's red over there, And I think it would be really interesting, and it works to be an explorer game because you're walking around and it's like, okay, black and white, whatever, but then you'll see that red.
Yeah.
You're like, what's that? And I think that's a really cool concept, but again, it's going to come down to the execution again.
Yeah.
Because if it's just like only at your event points is where there's red stuff, and it's like, hey, look at me, I'm a red thing, then it's like,
it just becomes stupidly obvious.
If it gives you that mysticism with the oh look, there's a red thing, like a ribbon goes by, something like that, instead of it being just like, this is where the action is, come to the red thing, you know. I think it could be really cool.
Yeah, it could be really cool. It's an interesting concept once again.
I think it could be. And Ranger, I love your notes. Ranger's note reads, thousands of colors my computer is spec'd for, and this game chooses only 3. So,
that was just me being silly.
I'm with you though. I'm interested, like you said, in the quiet thriller thing. I think if it's executed right, this could be something really, really kind of interesting. So,
yeah,
I think it really. One thing I love about Steam is, as far as PC gaming goes, you can pull stuff off on Steam that you really can't pull off anywhere else.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, the intro for me introducing myself that nobody heard. Like I love the game.
Yeah.
So if you can put in that mysticism stuff, if you can put in that stuff, and all of a sudden I'm entrenched in your story, I don't care how many colors you use. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
It's about, for me, it's about the game. Like, you can do all this stuff and know that Bethesda did such and such, and he talked about his mama and all this kind of stuff. I don't care about that stuff. I care about the game. Is it a good game? Does it play well? Does it look good?
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't always even have to look good. I love Minecraft, and it's like 16-bit, you know?
Fez.
So...
Yeah, it's interesting.
Fez is a great game. Fez is not exact. Its art style is pretty, but graphical fidelity, no, it's not much. But it's still cool.
Yeah.
Or there was another one that FTL is a fantastic example of this. FTL is an incredibly good game, but FTL is not going to go winning any graphics awards. But it's so well executed.
Yeah, because sometimes when you're an indie developer, like, you have to choose what you spend your money on.
Yeah.
And if you spend your money on developing an awesome engine, like you guys, I mean, I'm sure people have seen people play that game, like the Game Developer Tycoon or whatever. You spend all your money on the engine, or you have somebody really good at engine building, or you have this really good concept, you know? You don't have to win the graphics award if it's a great game.
Yeah.
Because of gamers like me. I don't know a lot if all the gamers are like me, or if some are, or if some people care about who talk about his mama. But, like, for me, it's about the game. And you have to market to the people that it's about the game for, you know? Because if you have a game and I'm playing it, I'm like, okay. Then it's a chance, there's a large chance that unless somebody's a really big fanboy of the series, Call of Duty, that people aren't going to get it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. That also kind of, counterpoint to that kind of is, I can't remember the name of this game, but it's the one with the humans versus the dinosaurs. And it's a first-person shooter, and they did a lot to really, it's multiplayer, did a lot to really make the game look really pretty. And every video I've ever seen of it, people are like, oh my god, this plays like crap. They're like, it's unbalanced, it's not fun, blah, 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 blah. So,
yeah,
you could have all the graphics you want, and if you don't execute what's underneath it, it's still just crap. So.
Yeah, there's a lot to be said for having a good game versus having a pretty one.
Yeah.
And then you have developers like, to say Bethesda's name again, I'll probably get sued tomorrow, but Bethesda, they make good games that look good because they have tons of money.
Yeah.
A lot of developers can't do that. They can't spend it on both. Or they can try to balance it, but what's more important, really, is the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I love being able to spec on my PC and be like, oh, HD and LED and thousands of colors, but it's not always all about that, you know?
No. All right, this is the last one, and it's been voted on. So, YouTubers and indie games. We're all YouTube people. All three of us are on YouTube. I believe all three of us are YouTube partners, aren't we?
Nope.
No, you're not, Bunny? I
Nope.
am. Ranger, I think you are, aren't you?
I'm a partner. I just don't have a lot of stuff monetized because I got sick of them asking me for permissions.
Yeah, I get sick of that too. So we kind of have a little experience about kind of our end of this, and also the other end of it being gamers who watch stuff.
Yeah.
Indie games that blow up from YouTubers covering them. And when I say YouTubers, I know a lot of people, the first things that are going to come to mind is going to be, and I'm going to keep personal bias against YouTubers out of this, PewDiePie, Captain Sparkles, the Yogscast, Total Biscuits, the Rooster Teeth guys, insofar as the guys at Achievement Hunter, the way they do their stuff. Not all of Rooster Teeth, but definitely Jeff, Jack, Gavin, and Michael and Ray, the way they cover their stuff.
Yeah,
Scene Hutch, I think I said Total Biscuit, Syndicate, Tom Syndicate. and I'm sure you guys can throw other ones at me, but those are just off the top of my head. Oh, Dodger, of course.
You got all of them except for one of them that I really like. Except I can't remember their name.
But the thing is that we can all think of games that those guys have played, and if it's been an indie game, and they've covered it, and they've played it, and it's just all of a sudden blown up. I'd like to go ahead and get the big obvious one out of the way first. Minecraft.
Yep.
So, Minecraft has been done to death. Out of those people that I named, let's see, the Oggs, the Rooster Teeth Boys, PewDiePie, Captain Sparkles, Syndicates.
Everybody does it.
Sceners.
Everybody does it.
I think the only two that I can't think of off the top of my head that have done it is I don't remember Hutch playing it, and Total Biscuit refuses to play it on stream.
Well,
on YouTube.
The thing about Minecraft is Minecraft was like, yes, please post our stuff on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
You can make money from it. We don't care.
They even like
getting our game out there.
And even in the early days, they said you could not wanted people to torrent it, illegally download it, so that if you didn't like the game, you didn't have to buy it. And that was kind of one of the ones. Notch
is actually famous for telling a guy on Twitter, direct messaging him, telling him hello kitty, telling him to download Minecraft and just pirate it and then pay for it later.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, the thing about Minecraft is, if you guys hadn't noticed,
there's a big creep in the background.
I like Minecraft, but that's not where I was going with it. Where I was going with it was it sold billions of copies worldwide, and Microsoft wanted a piece, so they developed a game for Microsoft for Xbox, and that one sold millions. I think they had a 7 million. Yeah, the Minecraft one sucked, or the Xbox one sucks. But they sold 7 million copies of the Minecraft for Xbox because people were curious about Minecraft.
Yeah.
And maybe they didn't have a computer spec for it.
Isn't Xbox and Minecraft, Minecraft for Dummies?
Basically, because it fills in the crafting recipes for you. It tells you exactly what you have to have, and you don't have to place stuff in the grid. It does it for you.
That's the same with the phone gaming. It's exactly the same.
Yeah.
With Minecraft on PC, it's a very steep learning curve on how to do the game, because it obviously just throws you in a blank world, and you could be in the middle of a desert with no trees. So it doesn't tell you that you have to go and punch a tree and put the tree log in your thing, and the steps towards it. Another game I was thinking about was Warhammer. Is it Warhammer or Hammer? I think it was Warhammer. There's a few games which have just come out on Steam, Greenlight, which have been greenlighted because a lot of people have played them.
Yeah, so that's the thing, is that when people cover things on YouTube, they have fun playing them usually, and then people want to go and buy them. People have built their profession on this, like Total Biscuit. Love you to death, you cynical motherfucker.
Yeah, no crap.
But
Hammerwatch, that's it.
He builds his lifestyle on reviewing games in all aspects, even in price, when to buy it, wait for the price drop, or all those kinds of things. I mean, obviously I'm a fan of him, and I probably give him money because I like things that he does. But he that's exactly how he does it. He does it as a business, and he makes tons of money. And even though he's really cynical, and he criticizes the crap out of stuff, you know what you're getting from a game when you watch his stuff.
Exactly.
Sometimes he's a little too harsh, but that's okay. And developers give them his game, give them their game, and they're like, please do this, because they know that when it releases and all those kinds of things, people have already seen it, they've had exposure, they know what they're going to get into, and people will buy the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think overall it's a very positive thing. I mean, I think FTL is a good example, because the FTL is another game where the developers were like, yeah, by all means, put it on YouTube, make money off of it. FTL is a great game, but I don't think FTL would have blown up like it did on Steam if it hadn't gotten a fair amount of coverage. So,
the thing is that they, certain companies, EA, they, I fucking hate EA. I'm sorry, I love you. I love you, but I hate you, EA.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, I have Battlefield and I have Mass Effect and I played the crap out of them. They're awesome, but god damn you. What EA does, if you're not familiar, because you might not be a YouTuber, you might not be monetized, this kind of thing, they don't care if you post, even though you're doing free advertising for them, they don't care if you post anything from them, but they have an agreement with YouTube where if there's anything from EA on your screen, on your video, if that video makes any money, it goes to EA.
Nintendo has the same thing now.
Yeah, Nintendo followed suit. It's like, why would you follow that suit that everybody's so upset about? But I mean, if it is their content, and if they're going to get their money, they're going to get their money. And EA has the money to be like, listen, you're not going to make any money off our game, and just be done. But even Bethesda has money out the arse. I mean, they release games like Skyrim. You know, they most of the time, if you ask, they're like, yeah, sure, we don't care. That's fine, because they have money to not care. So it's like you have like the EA side, and you have like the Bethesda side.
Yeah.
And really, there's no reason to not be on the Bethesda side, and especially for like indie developers, they don't have any money for like advertising.
Yeah.
So they spend their money on the game engine. It's
kind of the new way of advertising. Do you know what I mean? It's the new way of getting, especially PC games out there, is through YouTube, because I don't know many PC gamers that sit in front of a TV all day and watch like the adverts for the console games.
No.
Because obviously with a PC you don't need a computer, you have the screen in front of you and a keyboard. You don't need a controller and a TV. So this is kind of the PC's way of advertising, because obviously it's through YouTube, which a lot of gamers watch.
Yeah, and it is free advertising. I mean, that's one of the big things about it. One of the things that I find amusing, just personally to me, is when something happens, when, like a while back, I believe it was Sega of Japan, which is going bonkers on the copyright claims, just slapping people down left and right with them. And all these people got up in arms that, boycott Sega, don't buy Sega games, don't play Sega games, don't show them on YouTube, blah, blah, blah. If we do that, then we have the power to make them change. This is where I start laughing, because while the part of the gaming community is the ones that are getting so mad about that, whether it be justly so or not, they might be really vocal. They're also a minority. A vocal minority, but a minority. Yeah. And I'm sorry, but I am not under any such illusion that what we do on YouTube matters one single bit to the larger companies, except for the fact that they see us as another potential revenue stream if we happen to make money off one of their games. We could, everybody, let's say everybody that watches a Yogscast video. Everybody that watches a Yogscast video decides not to buy Call of Duty, right? Is it going to matter one single flipping difference if the whole Yogscast audience doesn't watch Call of Duty or doesn't buy Call of Duty?
It's Call of Duty fan base, though.
Yeah,
that's a little unfair. Call of Duty fan base, though.
But
people have died on release day.
That's true. But
I'm just saying.
My point there is, it's really funny how we get so up in arms over the indie games, but we don't always get that up in arms except for just, the big developers are evil, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? Some of the big developers used to be indie developers. It's just business. So
yeah,
the indie developers that are using YouTubers to get their free advertising, they're just smart. So
yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's free advertising whether or not you... whether or not you're a big company too. Yeah. No. I mean, why would you not want advertising? I mean, you already have to pay for advertising.
Yeah, exactly.
I also do think it does come with a caveat, though. The developer has to be careful, because if you are a small developer, like a really small indie developer, like your first game, let's say, I'll use him as an example, because both of us watch him, Ranger. Let's just say, for example, that you're a really small indie developer, and you happen to make a game that's actually not all that great, and you give it to, say, Total Biscuit, and TB takes a giant dump all over it, that can pretty much wreck your game. Because enough people watch TB that if he says don't buy it, you've lost a significant market share. So it cuts both ways. For the big developers, it doesn't matter. For the really small indie guys, it might make or break you. So.
It does.
It matters.
Yeah, it has, actually. So it's not that far-fetched of an example. I think the reason that TB came to mind is because I think that actually has happened with him. So...
Well, but he's also not going to... I mean, he's also extremely good at what he does.
Yeah.
Extremely good.
I would also like to point out in the background of us talking, there is creepers stacked on top of one another flying around in Minecraft, and a giant zombie riding a ghast. So, this is what happens when we let people play with Voxel Sniper. So...
Cough, Mike and Geo.
I'm going to take one last look at the topic sheet. I'll encourage y'all to do so, but I think we're fairly done.
Okay.
I've struck through everything that we have talked about except the last one. Yeah, I'm not. We could do a quick hits thing. Project Phoenix Japanese indie RPG, squad-based RTS with JRPG action. Care or not care? I definitely care. I think it's going to be cool. Bunny?
I think it's got a lot of people. A lot of people got together to do it, like different developers and stuff, and it looks cool.
Quickly. Ranger?
Yeah. I think I'm gonna keep an eye on it, but I haven't seen any gameplay yet. I saw some artwork, which is, but for me, all about the game. I need to see gameplay before I'm all that interested.
Mm-hmm.
Diablo 3 expansion. Care? Don't care. Don't care.
Don't care.
Don't care.
That was a little trepidation.
I kind of care, but no. I mean, for the, am I going to spend a whole lot of money on it? No. It better not be $30. Sorry.
Guncraft. Care? Don't care. Minecraft ripoff? Yay? Nay. Don't care. Voxel based. Not really a Minecraft ripoff. Just an art form.
Minecraft ripoff. Don't care.
Okay.
Don't care. I thought it was an adventure map.
Okay. And finally for tonight, Pepsi or Coke?
Coke.
Oh, Pepsi.
Pepsi.
Oh,
All right, folks,
Pepsi
now that
wins.
we've completely confused our viewers, I would like to thank everybody for joining us. Bunny, thank you as always. Ranger, thank you for joining us. Love to have you back anytime you want to be here.
Okay.
And next, let's see.
Hopefully we'll get Mike back.
Yeah. Get Mike back soon. The next Dimecast will be on Tuesday, September the 3rd. In case you haven't noticed, we're doing them every 2 weeks. As I said in the last episode, if you have any topics you would like us to discuss, please send the topic and a link, if applicable, to me as a private message on Twitch. And if you have any suggestions for the show name, I'm still open to show names because, as has been pointed out to me several times, Dimecast is awfully narcissistic, but it was come up with 30 seconds before we launched the show, so nah. That being said, thank you everybody for joining us, and we will see you in 2 weeks. Bye.
Bye.